Hello and welcome to the Stellar Way for Course Creators. This is a YouTube channel for you to help you be able to design, create, and launch an online course. Subscribe to this channel to be notified, as well as clicking the notify button, of new videos that are uploaded each week that helps you throughout your course creation journey. And if you do have any questions or if you do want anything in particular demonstrated, let me know in the comments below. This week we are looking at what Agile course creation looks like and how it can help you to be able to create your online course. So let's take a look. Let's have a look at why you would use Agile course creation before we have a look at an example. So Agile course creation helps you to be agile and helps you to be adaptable to what your students need. And it is an approach that's opposite to a traditional project management approach or a waterfall approach, where you plan every single task out and then you follow that plan over a 3 or 6 month period or however long it takes you to do course creation. And what that does, or what that means, is that over that time you're creating your course without any interaction with your students until the course is ready, where you then launch your course, and that's the first point of interacting with your students. Now what that can result in is 3 to 6 months of wasted time of launching something that your students don't need, or launching something that your students don't find useful. So with the Agile course creation, it is allowing you to launch your course in small iterations where the whole time you are working with your students and you're collecting feedback on how you can better support them. Now, in no means am I saying that you are launching a non-complete course. Rather, we're looking at different versions of, smaller sections of that course. So it may look like a one-day workshop. It may then expand to a 1-week course. It might then expand to a short course that students can take at their own time, and then it might expand to your beta version of your full course. And so at each stage you are delivering a deliverable, you are delivering a goal where your students are coming along to your workshop, your week-long boot camp, your short course, whatever it is, and they are able to achieve a particular goal that you've set out. So rather than working on your dream online course for 3 to 6 months, you're working on smaller sections, still delivering a goal, still delivering a complete course. It's just a small version of your course, and you expand that out over time. So let's have a look at what that would look like. First of all, the Agile course creation process starts with a course curriculum. We always start with a course curriculum. And if you want to watch other videos in my YouTube channel about course curriculums, I would link them below, where you can learn about the elements that go into course curriculums. You can learn about the importance of course curriculums. In this video, all I'm mentioning is that a course curriculum must be the beginning of each process of your Agile course creation process. Once you have that curriculum, you can then identify the requirements of your version. So before I gave examples that a version can be a 1-day workshop, it might be a week-long course or boot camp, whatever you want to call it. It might be an online self-paced short course that might be a couple of hours. So that is a version of your course. That's 3 different examples of a version of your course. And at this stage you identify, based on your curriculum, what are the requirements. So for example, for your workshop, your requirements will be a landing page for people to sign up. You would need an email and name. If you're taking payments for this, you will need to have a payment gateway. And these are minimum requirements, right? They're up to you what your minimum requirements are. So you might say that you would like to have a webinar that people can watch in their own time. So a evergreen webinar that's on your landing page. You might have a landing page that people download a freebie and then they go straight into booking into the webinar. Whatever it might be, you have to list out what are your requirements. Now your requirements are not tasks. Your requirements are what should the end result be. So what should you have? Okay, so the requirements are a usable landing page that people can enter their email address successfully, that it pushes them into your CRM, that it sends them a email, confirmation email, or pushes them to a secondary landing page. This is when you list out all the requirements. You might then say when it comes to your workshop, you want to ensure that students can complete an activity on Kahoot or on Mentimeter, different types of online activities, that they can answer quizzes that you have in Zoom, for example, that they can successfully go into a breakout group in Zoom. So these are all the requirements. List them out. Now these are the minimum requirements for your version. Okay, so the requirements would be different for a self-paced online course than they are for a workshop. Once you have that list of requirements, that's going to then push out all of your tasks for that version. So that is everything you need to do that helps you to achieve those requirements. Now in those tasks, you can then break that down into design, create, and launch, which is what I talk about in this YouTube channel. So check out other videos where I give hints on designing, creating, and launching your online course. Now at this stage, these can be iterative, which means you can move through them however you wish. You don't have to complete all the tasks in design before you go into create, nor complete everything before you go into launch. There are some that make sense that do come before other tasks, but you can move through these however you like. For example, you might create your landing pages before you create a lesson plan for your workshop. Or you might create a quiz before you start to create emails, your email funnel, whatever it might be. These might be all different tasks that you do that you can move through them at your own pace, move through them in whatever order you want to. There's no sequential order. As well, you can outsource these tasks or hand them over to the team, whatever your business structure is. Once you've completed all of these tasks, and this is the most important thing of Agile course creation, is that you have a usable version, meaning that you have a course, this is the output of everything here, that you have a course that the students will be able to solve a problem. Okay, so it might be a workshop that's only a mini problem or a mini goal that they're solving, but it's still a complete course. That's the most important thing. We're not ever giving an incomplete course. We're just looking at our dream course and looking at how we can slowly build that up from a small version into the complete course. Now, once you've got that course version, it's important to receive feedback. And at this point, I don't consider that we should only receive feedback at the very end of this whole process. We should be talking to our students throughout the whole process. And this is part of the designing and the creating, is that part of those tasks is where we're involving the students and we're learning from them so that we can successfully create and launch something that is usable for our students. So at this area where I do talk about student feedback, I'm more referring to reviewing the feedback that you've collected through the whole process from the students. And once you've reviewed that feedback, everything then comes right back to the beginning. And now you can take all that feedback that you've received and you can start on your second version. And your second version might be a boot camp, a week-long boot camp. So then you go back to your curriculum and you expand on that curriculum and you start to build it out and you do the whole process again. But this time you're looking at a different version. And this is how you can, over time, be able to launch your dream course that in that whole process you've been involving your students and you've been slowly launching. You might find that you launch a workshop and you find that it wasn't successful. And so you want to come back and redo that same version. Maybe requirements have changed. Maybe your course curriculum itself has changed, that the topics you focused on weren't quite what your audience needed. So you don't always need to go to a different type of version. So for example, version 1 to version 2 doesn't need to look like a workshop to then a boot camp. It might be workshop version 1, workshop version 2, workshop version 3, and you're improving that over time until you've got it perfect to meet your requirements. And then you might move to version 4, which is a boot camp, where you're starting to expand on that perfect workshop that you've created. So let's have a look at different examples of versions. So as I've said, phase 1 might be your free short course that then moves into a beta test, that then moves into an online course, that then moves into your second release of an online course. But at each phase, you're going through this entire process. And so we can see here that we're looping through. These are each one of our iterations. Each of these are new iterations where you'll go through that entire process, and each of these ends with a usable course, whatever that usable course might be. And in this sense, a course creation, in my definition of a usable course, is when students are supported in solving a problem that they have. So your course gives them a solution. Okay, rather than being an incomplete course, I'm never referring to doing an incomplete course, it's just a smaller version. So for example, I have a course that talks about Agile course creation that I'm in the middle of building. And my first version of it is, well, let's do a workshop where we talk about the first part of the course. Now let me just, I've got a lot open here, but if I go into Agile course curriculum and I open up my curriculum for you. Now I've built this curriculum out because I'm not just in my first version, I'm in about my fourth or fifth version. But if we go to my curriculum here, the very first section is to talk about having an understanding of what Agile course creation is and how it can help you to launch quicker with 2 outcomes. Now this is where I started. This was a workshop I delivered. The workshop didn't go through what is each part of the Agile methodology. It didn't go through the skills you need to deliver it. It didn't go through the objectives. It didn't go through inputs and outputs. It didn't go through what those different versions are and all the possible tasks you can have. It didn't go through all of this. It didn't go through the practical sides of implementing course creation. It simply went through what is Agile course creation and how would it support you to be able to launch quicker. That's it. That was where my workshop started. And I did multiple iterations of that to be able to identify if it's something that my audience would want. And once I've delivered this workshop, I've then started to expand it out because I've collected feedback from students. Alongside my other courses, I've collected feedback on how I can best support them through course creation. Best support you through course creation, which I've learned is providing you with checklists, providing you with exact details and exact demonstrations on how to launch your online course. So through all that feedback, I've then been able to expand this out. Agile course creation. This is a way to help you be able to launch quicker when you're always involving your students. And it's not talking about launching quicker so that you find shortcuts, nor is it about launching an incomplete course. It's about breaking down your dream course into smaller milestones or smaller versions and starting to launch them in smaller chunks over a longer period of time. If you would like to know more about Agile course creation, let me know in the comments below or feel free to reach out. I'm more than happy to answer any questions. And there's also workshops that I am delivering each month on Agile course creation. So in the comments below, have a look at when the next workshop is being delivered so that you can also join. Until next time, happy course creation, and please subscribe to this channel so that you can be notified of each video that's uploaded each week. Happy course creation, and bye for now.